say it's 5 people are allowed, or 10 people, or 15 people, depending on what the performance requirement is, right?
Yeah.
Um, yeah, obviously going to 120 FPS is tough to do uh, with only avatars in the room. You can dynamically change the frame rate in different parts of your world. I mean, I'll be honest, I'll put it out there. I don't think we're really going to be all that strict specifically on the 90 frames a second, let's say. It would be more about what you can achieve within the allotted amount. So if somebody did something absolutely amazing, but they did it at 72 FPS, then we'll take that into account, right? So it's not going to be an immediate disqualification if you're less than 90 frames. I just want to put that out there because I know some of you have been obsessing about that a little bit and making sure that everything is perfect, right? So it doesn't have to be like that, okay? And for some of the rest of you, happy to look at ways we can try to optimize things if possible. You know, one trick for anybody leveraging the browser doing anything, one trick that we've been doing is just reducing that browser resolution, right? You can reduce that right down, which can save quite a lot. That was working out pretty well for MJ. But I'll tell you what, while we're here, why don't I just jump in quickly and do my usual rigmarole? We can get that out of the way and then get back into the Q&A. I have lots of mad, crazy stuff too I've been working on over the last few days. I'm sure some of you are aware of some or all of it. I'm sure there'll be questions around that too. But yeah, look, let's kick it off. Right behind me here, we have the Banter website. You'll notice I added a little bit of spacing here on the left so that the text doesn't sit so close to the side of the screen. Just a tiny little cosmetic improvement there. This is bantervr.com. You can see the address under here. It's easy, I think, to remember, but that's where you need to go if you want to find out any information about how to build worlds in Banter. Um, there's two things that I'll highlight that I think are important. Let's say three things. So up on the menu here on the right-hand side, the third to last is to make a space. That's a great place to go if you're just starting out. It shows you how to get your own version of a space that you can control, be the moderator of, and then start to build from there. Then moving on, the docs or documentation is where you'll get pretty much all the info on how to build using the current system that exists in Banter. And then the third one is the Discord link, which is where you can chat to me or anybody in my team or anybody mostly here in front of me as well about how to build worlds, what to do, or just shoot the shit and hang out, right? You know, that's what we do as well. So yeah, usually every week, at least for the past several weeks, we've been announcing Quest winners, Quest 3 winners. We have another one to announce today, as is usual fashion. We've also announced earlier today that we're going to have uh, a bunch of quest games, right? 4 free quest games going out per day between now and Christmas Day for the next 7 days, basically. 8 days, I'm not sure exactly how many, right? So, as is often the case, it's just a matter of being online will increase your chances of winning some of these prizes. So yeah, I mean that's kind of the introduction to what we've got going on. For anybody who's not aware, we have a world creation competition going on right now. It's called the Bantathon. It is the second annual Bantathon. We had one last year, when we were still in early alpha stage. And yeah, if you're interested in that, loads of info in the Discord. So once again, come and check that out. But anyway, that's everything out of the way. Why don't we jump into a bit of Q&A? Casper, I see you jumping up and down in the background. Go ahead,
I
you're
would just,
megaphoned.
no,
Talk to
no,
me.
I would just be in an excitement showing how everyone's excited for all the
Right,
new
gotcha.
features and things. That was it.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Well, look, I'll tell you what, in that case, thank you for that, Casper. In that case, let's say that this little square here is the square you come to ask questions. So anybody who's got a question, feel free to jump onto the square. You got a question for us, Bob? Oh, Pony.
Yeah, I've got a
Hey,
question.
Pony.
Hey.
Hit me.
Our video player, the browser, is the source of all the sound for the video player and everything. Can we move the source of sound elsewhere, or is it always located where the player is? It might be a really stupid question, but something I don't know.
It's an interesting one. So in the case of the browser,
Yeah,
on PC and on Android, it's actually a separate process, completely separate from the game process, and it has its own sound, which is completely separate. We actually make it appear as if the sound is spatial in the playlist video player,
yeah,
just by recording your distance from the screen and using that to turn the volume up and down basically is what we do. To answer your question in a nutshell, right now that sound volume is controlled by that mechanism. So
yeah,
if you're talking about just the browser on its own, then yeah, absolutely, you could do a little bit of math to work out how far is the person from a certain point in the space, and use that to control the volume on, let's say, a YouTube player or
yeah,
a video that's in a page. So in a nutshell, it's absolutely possible. With the current video player, the current video playlist player, it's not quite possible to do it with that. Maybe you could use like we do in the Crystal Lake, the island space that we just came
yeah,
from. You could hide the video itself somewhere where you want the sound to come from, and then use a render texture plus a camera where you'd like the video to appear, and that might achieve what you're talking about
yeah,
as things sit today.
yeah. Because I'm trying to do that, but I'm trying to hide the video player, but just make the sound appear from somewhere else, so the video player can be quite a way away, and just I can locate the sound basically over a big hole where I can't actually have the video player. That's what I was trying to figure
Gotcha.
out.
Try scaling the video player down. If you set the scale on the video player script, that will
Yeah,
only scale the screen. It won't scale the buttons. So you can still move the buttons somewhere
yes,
else and have those be
yeah,
controls. And then the video won't be visible, but you can still have the audio be
yeah.
nearby, if that works for you.
It's a workaround. Yeah.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Thank you. That's me done.
yeah, no problem. Cheers, Pony. Awesome. Okay, so anybody else? I know a lot of you are eager to hear who this week's winner is, but if you do have any questions about how to create worlds, now is the time. And I'll ask anybody who's in maybe some of our other instances if there's somebody in there too.
Looking like we're clear in
If
this
you do have any
instance,
questions
unless
about how to create,
anybody has been being too shy and hasn't walked up to the yellow block. Oh, we do have someone. Who's that? Oh, nope. Too
no?
shy on this end here. Yep.
Okay, that's fine. I noticed that we have 57 people in the room, so I don't know if there's another instance to check out or if we're only in 2 instances. Maybe we're only in 2. Looks like
At
it
this
only 2.
time, only 2. Just had a third
Nice.
instance pop up with only 1 person in there so far, so I'll be watching that one too.
Gotcha. That's great. God, it's so good to have so many people in instances and not have to worry about the networking troubles, right? God, it felt like that went
It's
on
amazing.
forever.
Oh, it does look like we have Lee ready for a question.
Okay, I've got Sebek here in the space already.
Oh,
Will we
let's go
go
with
ahead
him
with him
and we'll
first?
take Lee next.
Yeah.
Sure.
So
Okay,
this is
Sebek,
a physics. This game is physics based, right?
that's
I've
right.
only seen like so there's bowling and that mini golf map I've seen, and
Yes.
in those spaces, like I haven't seen the ability for like the ball to bounce. Is that possible in Banter or for
Yeah,
like bounce
absolutely.
physics?
Yeah, so Banter uses Unity's built-in physics. So in essence, you can do anything in Banter that you can do in there. There are some bouncy balls. The balls on the pool table in the Winter Sport Resort, for instance, if you bounce them, they will literally bounce forever. So yeah, bouncy
Oh, okay.
balls in a nutshell is absolutely possible.
Okay, is that just something I can add in Unity, or I don't really understand. I just started it, so.
Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, Unity would probably be the place to go. I think you'd probably also be interested in our synced interactable system, which we're working on right now, which, fingers crossed, is going to land next week. So all being well, we'll be able to play with synced interactables then. So then, yeah, you can make a physics ball that all you guys can just kick around, bounce around between multiple people. And yeah, it would just be as simple as you create a sphere in Unity, put a collider on it, put a rigid body onto it for the physics, right? And then likely another script that we would have that would sync the ball for you.
Okay. And when you make 3D models, so you make it in Blender and you use you make something to scale in Blender. Do you have like a scaling in that you like? Should I scale it up by a certain amount so it's to scale in Banter also, or
That's a good
how
question.
would that work?
I think generally there's probably a convention to follow there between Blender and Unity, but if I understand, Blender is on the millimeter scale where Unity is on the meter scale, which might mean that you have to scale things down by 1,000 times, let's say, in order for it to match 1-to-1. I don't know if Aline is here, and if she is, if she
I
can
think
correct me on that. But
I don't
or
think
maybe
that's right
Lisa.
because
Lisa, you can maybe let us know if that's correct or not. You're muted if you're talking, Lisa.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. I was just about to say, can you repeat the question? I didn't quite catch it. It was a bit breaking up.
So the scale
okay.
between Blender and Unity,
Mhm.
as far as I understand, Blender's on the millimeter scale, whereas Unity's on the meter scale. So you have to
It is.
1,000 times down your scale to go straight from 1-to-1 from Blender to Unity. Is that right?
It's 100. Yeah, anything
100.
that's at a scale of 1-to-1 in Blender comes in at a scale of 100 in Unity.
Centimeters.
So I
Um,
don't know if I'm doing something different, but I've been using Unity and Blender, and I've just been using scale 1 in between. I don't know what I did, but it's working
Yeah.
great for me.
Well, there's a free add-on for Blender called Machine Tools or Machine 3 Tools, which has got a really handy button which prepares your FBX file and exports it specially for Unity, so it comes in at a scale of 1-to-1 anyway and triangulates it all for you and everything.
Maybe it's because I'm directly importing assets as Blender files. That might be what's working for me.
Yeah,
possibly.
I honestly wouldn't recommend importing them as Blender files because they can get really messed up. Unity's preferred format is FBX, so if you can export them first, so you're not getting all the other stuff that it has to get rid of, because it has to convert it to an FBX when you import the Blender file, and it doesn't always do a great job, as Unity doesn't always do a great job of a lot of things. So, yeah. It works, but I wouldn't recommend it in most cases.
I hope that helps, Sebek.
Thanks.
No problem.
It still seems like, because I made my model 1-to-1, but it's still a tiny bit too small. But
Gotcha.
I'll try to do the FBX thing instead.
Gotcha.
Okay, thank you. That's it for me.
No problem. Faye, you had someone else you wanted to bring in?
Yes, I have Lee. Lee, go ahead and step up to the block, and I will get you megaphoned. There you are.
Oh, the corrupt judge. I've heard about this guy. Go ahead, Lee.
That's right.
Nice afro.
I was wondering.
Very festive.
I was wondering, will we be able to use like screen mirroring in the future so that we could probably create our own presentations or say like with the chroma key type videos, you could like create your own, maybe using tilt brush or something like that. If you do you
Yeah.
understand what I'm talking about?
I think I get you. So screen mirroring, like Faye does with the Jackbox, basically sharing your screen like big screen,
Right,
kind of. Yeah, yeah, yeah,
right.
definitely. What Faye's doing currently is basically testing out the infrastructure at scale in terms of what we will potentially absorb into the app directly and natively, right? It will only probably work on the
Hmm.
desktop version since there's no screen to share on standalone. But yeah, if you're on PC VR or on 2D mode, then you should absolutely be able to share your screen uh, from within the app, right? That'll be the ideal scenario in that case. And what was the second point that you
Right.
made? Sorry, Lee.
Just using maybe like tilt brush or open brush to kind of create your own video of kind of like you were doing in the Allen world.
Gotcha.
Um,
Chroma key, transparency in the video,
right,
that kind of stuff.
right,
Gotcha. I'm with you.
right.
Yeah, I mean, using what we've done already, which is just a very basic mobile particle additive shader, right? That's all we did in the island space, believe it or not. But it removes black in the background. So yeah, in essence, you can do you'd absolutely be able to do any of that in terms of using custom shaders. I don't see why not.
Right. Yeah, cool. Awesome. Thanks.
Yeah, no problem. Um, yeah, let's crack on. Has somebody got anybody else? Anybody in another instance?
Yes, actually, we have Shoseki, our cameraman, has sent me a message and he'd like me to ask you the question. He's wondering, let's see. Is there any way to sync a Unity scene or force a refresh? Because Tush Push last week, people were synced separately, and that affected the stream. It showed blades and things being fired separately. Sometimes it would show people walking through objects. So he's not going to be able to respond to you, but he did want to ask that question.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks very much, Faye, and thanks Shoseki, who's over there in the background. Don't anybody look at him though, because he is really embedded in what he's doing. But what you can do is you can just turn around and kind of wave your hand, because somewhere around here there's a hidden camera flying around that is filming us all, so that you can all watch this video later if you need to check back on anything. But everybody, just give him a wave. Where are you, Shoseki? Who knows? That's crazy. So yeah, to answer your question, and it's a very good question, Shoseki, about sync and networking. Yeah, sync is difficult. I won't say that it's hard that we can't do it, but it's certainly a hard topic in the grand scheme of things when it comes to, all of the various different things you have to try and tackle when it comes to building a game. Sync is even especially more difficult when you introduce physics into it, right? But certainly not impossible. I think to answer your question, you kind of need to have a nice set of tools and strategies you can use when it comes to syncing things. As of next week, we should hopefully have a pretty complete set of tools that you can use to sync things. The last major one we'll be adding to that tool set is synced interactables, or the ability to just have an object and throw it around, throw it to your friend, they grab it and they throw it back. That kind of a thing. Other than that, there's other strategies you can use. You can send event-based one-shot messages, right, that can sync things based on certain events, like a button click, or when somebody goes into a trigger collider. Those can sometimes be quite useful for, specific, one-time kind of things. But yeah, all of these things, really, it depends on the use case. It depends on what you're doing as to which of those is the best strategy to use. But as of next week, I imagine we're probably going to have quite a number of conversations about cool things that you can do with syncing, because the synced interactables immediately opens up a huge plethora of potential games that you could create, right? Putting this out here. Next week might be there. Things like football and golf and pool and cards and bowling and all of these various different things could potentially take take form in a bigger way than they ever have before on the platform, right? Because these synced interactables could make it possible to do a lot of this stuff. So yeah, great question, Shoseki. Thanks again, and I'll give you another wave, even though I'm not sure exactly where you are right now. Great, that's awesome. Okay, any more questions? Faye, have you got anybody else in the next instance?
I do. I'm going to megaphone them right now. Zafir, here you are.
Hey, this is a question about the UI.
Okay.
I'm on the 2D client right now, so I don't remember about the one on VR. When you press escape, the interface, like the menu interface, is there a plan to make that sort of, movable where you can position it wherever you want, like in most other apps? Like, for example, I like putting the 2D client on the computer, especially while I'm working from home. So, like, I'm still hanging out, interacting while I work, or when I'm using the browser inside the client, for example, and I'm referencing something as I'm speaking to someone, it's still kind of blocking my full frontal view. So if there was going to be a way to move it around, like to the side. Actually, another good example was the Jackbox. I remember, I think I played it last week, and most of the time you had to look from the corner of your vision because the browser was blocking your front view. So basically, yeah, was there going to be a way to reposition basically the menu in game?
Yeah, that's a really good question, and it's really good timing as well. Thanks for that. We're right on the cusp of beginning the process of revamping the entire menu and UI system in the game. So it's really useful to be able to understand this at this stage. We've been looking at a new technology to allow us to be able to build and prototype better UIs, but UIs that are also a lot more performant. And we've been looking at other ways to make it possible to interact with those UIs beyond just point and click. We've been investigating direct touch, and I think in the case of direct touch, it makes quite a lot of sense that you might be able to grab a screen and pull it closer towards you and then use your other hand to navigate around it, right? I don't know about any of the rest of you, but I saw the test phone in Skizot's space today, and it felt surprisingly natural to hold on to that phone and tap your way through the screen. So that's definitely something that we're looking into in the future. But I'm interested to know, so you're in 2D mode and you want to be able to like place maybe the browser screen or something off to one side and then still be able to see in front without your view obscured. Is that right?
Yes, sir. Just a little bit.
Gotcha. Well, that's definitely useful to know. Well, one thing we have been talking about internally is possibly making the browser its own separate sort of, exactly as you described, kind of like a movable tablet that you can push around. Maybe you can lock it and it'll move around with you as you locomote, or you can unlock it and it'll stay there in a fixed world position, right? So it could become this reusable, repurposable browser that you can just place around you and kind of use for anything you want. I mean, do you think that would solve the problem for you in general, or do you think the entire menu needs to function like that in order for it to work?
Similar, I was thinking like similar to other apps. Like, I don't like comparing apps, but for example, even in like the meta, like the menu, you know how where you just drag it from the bottom and you can place it wherever you want, or
Yes.
for example, big screen. Yeah, the menu in that, you basically drag it around, put it wherever. I think it follows you too. The entire menu, not just the browser, I guess.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
But yeah, the
Understood.
important part is, I guess, the browser being an integrated part of the menu.
Yes. Gotcha. Well, look, I appreciate that. Like I say, this is the perfect time to hear that kind of feedback. So, yeah, understood.
Thank you very
Any other
much.
questions? No, you're good. Okay, cool. Faye, I see you coming in there. Have you got someone else you'd like to bring in?
Seems good. This is open for anybody who would like to ask any questions. Just come step up here to this yellow block.
Anyone in this
Oh,
world either
I
as
think we
well?
do have Dead said.
Yeah.
All right. Yep, let's get you megaphoned. Here you go.
All right. Okay. Shane, do we have a current way of making AI models like you do within Slipstream?
You do. I mean, it depends on how much of that you would like to be able to do, let's say. Parts of that involved some code that is already included in the build, like the IK for being able to walk and some of the scripts for controlling the mouth movement and the blinking. But if you wanted to start experimenting right away with something that's cool and you didn't care about all of that, check out InWorld. InWorld was the platform that I used to create it.
All
I'll
right.
even share the code for the sample that I was using. And yeah, there's certainly a bunch of stuff built into the client that I've been testing with that kind of makes this whole workflow possible first, and hopefully a little bit easier to try and have some logic built in there about who or when the AI should talk to people, let's say. But yeah, in a nutshell, you can do that, and I can share stuff with you for that.
All right. Thank you. So all I got to do is build like a personality, and will the AI create majority of the rest of the personality, or can I just program the whole personality by myself?
It's up to you. Most of it you program by yourself, I guess, but the AIs on their platform have the ability to form dynamic relationships and can hold long-term memories. So sometimes they'll hold on to parts of their personality from the past, even if you completely change their character sheet. I don't know if any of you remember the AI constantly talking about being a gunslinger. That was from some cowboy history that didn't exist anymore, but was part of, I guess, that character's long-term memory, right? So yeah, there's definitely a certain amount of dynamicness to it, but also a lot of control for you to be able to define the specifics.
All right. Thank you, Shane.
Yeah. In fact, I'm hoping maybe you might try to make one that mimics yourself, right? You make an AI version of yourself. That was whenever it's finally ready for prime time, we'll probably do a big hoopla about it and put out a blog post at the time that explains how to make an AI version of yourself and put them into virtual reality.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Dad. Cool beans. Okay, so yeah, have we got? Oh, I see Faye coming in there.
Well, first of all, anybody here have any other questions for Shane? Okay, all's quiet on this front. Just some things to mention is just a few things that we don't really ever talk about in Space Makers is that you do have access to put all of the events in your calendar on our website. Just go to bantervr.com and click on events. And that's where you'll be able to add to the calendar so you can watch all of the events that are coming up. And we also have our live streams that you can go to for information for world building. You can view this stream and all of the past streams for our Space Makers events. And we also have our Space Hoppers events. And that is where we get to focus on the community. We can focus on you. So definitely come join us for those too.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Faye.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, look, if we've no other questions in the meantime, maybe we could make this into a bit of a space hopper event. If anybody has anything they'd like to share, maybe we can jump in and check that out. I can hear Shoseki freaking out in the corner there because we don't have a set of links to share with him. But maybe one of us can follow along and let them know where we're going as we go.
Sure.
I'll
I'll
tell you
send
what,
you
before we
links,
do that,
Shoseki.
there's a couple things I've been working on over the last few days. In a nutshell, the team is kind of winding down for Christmas, and I'm trying to cram as much as I can in before my team goes offline for a couple of weeks, and we can't push any more builds. So I have a few interesting things I've been working on over the last few days that I'm hoping, if we can get them tested in time and make sure everything is good, that we'll be able to release next week. Those things include some quality of life improvements. For instance, there's a force grab system that will allow you to pick up and telekinesis style pull an object to your hand from a distance. No more of this trying to push things around while you try and pick them up off the ground. You'll be able to pick things up by just force grabbing them, right? That's one thing that we've been working on. Another thing we've been working on is something that if we get time over Christmas, I hope we'll have a chance to prototype. But we've made a system that will allow you to take a frame from a render texture and save it onto the device as an image in a folder called Photos. That is going to allow us to prototype and build out some potential selfie cameras over the Christmas period, right? For anybody who's already seen Skizot's phone test world, the first one to get that capability will likely be his phone so that it can actually take photos for you and save them onto your device. So still very early days there. We're just making some preliminary kind of changes, I guess, to sort of allow us to prototype with that over Christmas, and then we can solidify that hopefully pretty soon. We're also about to revamp our portals. I'll just mention that. That'll probably land in the new year as well. Some of you might have seen that our splash screen has changed. We've now got a number of circles that represent portals in the space. There's actually a theme to that, which will become a lot more clear when we start to build out our new menu. But also our new portals are going to represent that as well. I think they're great. I think honestly, our portal game here in Banter is better than most other platforms. But these new ones are going to be a step up again, even from what we've had so far. So I'm excited about that. Some of you may have already seen those ones. Then there's, of course, the big ticket item. We've been experimenting with custom avatars and the ability for you to be able to make your own custom avatars that you can use in any space on the platform. We recently announced that anybody who submits for our Bantathon will get a custom avatar as standard. Assuming that what you submit isn't something completely basic, clearly just to get the custom avatar. In those cases, we're just going to quietly pretend like you didn't submit it. But all of you are here who are planning to submit. You can look forward to the opportunity to also be able to create a custom avatar. There's more details about that on our Discord. And yeah, I'll be honest, it's something we do plan to open up to the wider audience, but we kind of just wanted to reward you guys along with all the other notable members of our community who help just generally with moderation, who are very active on the platform, who help run events. So if you feel like that description fits you, then certainly let us know. And we'd be happy to open this up and let you have a taste of what could be the custom avatar system as well. Now, I want to make it clear there's no deadline on that as it stands right now. So anybody who's taking part, don't think that you now need to find time to make an avatar before the end of the month, as well as your space. You could make your space and we can worry about the avatar afterwards. There's no stress on that. But your positions are secured at least for a couple of weeks before we roll this out to everybody else, let's say, right? We just want to do the typical kind of due diligence and get some testing in, and at the same time, give you guys a bit of a reward for devoting so much time and energy into what you're building here in Banter. Let me just check my list real quick. I want to see if I've left anything out. Oh, oh yeah. The other thing is gorilla tag mode, right? So I'm sure
Yes.
some of you at some point or another have reached down and grabbed this ball while you're jumping, and then I could never do that. I could never do it. Bob's going to demonstrate for us somehow after a couple of goes. Yeah. Anyway, we all know, we're well aware of it. There is a feature where you basically slide around the platform on your butt, and we call it gorilla tag mode because you can also use your arms to walk at that point, and it becomes quite interesting. So since people like this so much, we've decided to embrace it as a native feature, and soon you'll be able to, much like sit and unsit, right? If anybody's familiar with that and has already used it, much like that, you'll be able to gorilla or ungorilla a player based on them clicking a button or walking into a trigger collider or something along those lines. At which point, most of the colliders in your character controller get switched off right up to the level of your chest, and your character will literally drop to the ground and start to slide around. You can use your joystick to control the speed as you slide around the ground. You can put your hands down onto the ground to brake and actually stop yourself, and lift yourself up off the ground, and then you can just walk around with your hands. So that's how it works. Some of you might have also seen, I put some screenshots into the Discord. We basically cut off from the bottom of the chest downwards. We just taper that off nicely, and the rest of your avatar disappears. In fact, everybody's avatar who's in gorilla tag mode will also disappear in a similar way, right? So that's another mechanic. I'm excited to see how you guys might explore and what kind of cool stuff you'll do. I think you could very easily have some kind of a race track, like a very sharp but short curb around the edge would probably be more than enough to keep your character in, so that you could fly around that, right? So yeah, we have a few more interesting things in the works that we're working on behind the scenes. We've got a few different built-in mechanics, obviously, here in Banter. We've got the Spider-Man mode, and now we're going to have the Gorilla Tag mode officially supported. In the future, we're looking at possible flight mechanics that could allow you to enable quick and easy flying in certain worlds as well. So I just said I'd let you guys know that we have that. And I guess, just generally, right, we're usually looking for ways to try and take advantage of the environment and the settings and everything about you and your avatar to try and make things cool, right? Like gravity options and the ability to slow down time and all of those sorts of things. But yeah, in a nutshell, those are some of the things that we have on the horizon. That's probably a good segue, after I've waffled on for ages, into our usual piece, our usual segment of Faye coming up and announcing this week's winner of the Quest 3. Thank you, Faye.
Of course. All right. Let's see here. So, this week's winner of the Quest 3 in our random giveaway, where we give away a Quest 3 every week until New Year's, was on Tuesday at 14:47 GMT, which is about 6:47 a.m. in PST time. Skizit. He was in one of his own spaces working on something that he's building. So congratulations, Skizit.
I told him.
You have won our Quest 3 for this week. Hey!
Where's Skiz? Where is he? Gate for Skiz, wherever he is.
Remember, you can always
I don't know if he's
be
here.
in it to win it. Oh no, I don't see him. I was trying to figure out if I could mirror him, but he is not here right now. Well, he'll have a surprise when he gets back online.
Yeah.
He will.
Yeah, congrats to our boy Skiz. Yeah, definitely is deserving of that. So yeah, I've been sort of joking with him all week, pretending that he won it, but I don't think he was taking me seriously. And I think we might have actually arranged for that to already arrive by the time this news broke. So he should have it, if not already, possibly very soon. So yeah, congrats to our boy Skiz. A new competition for Quest 3 starts tomorrow. In the meantime, maybe we can jump into a space hopper event. Oh, hey, Aline, good to see you. Maybe we can. I see Sebek is on the question block there. Maybe I can take another round of questions if there are any. Go ahead, Sebek.
You mentioned synced objects earlier, right? Is that
Yes.
currently not possible, or is there like issues with it? Because that's what I wanted to use in one of my ones.
Hopefully that should be possible from next week onwards is the easy answer to that question. The hard answer is you can do anything in the whole wide world if you just believe hard enough.
Okay.
Any other questions from anybody while we're here? Anybody want to jump up? I see Richie making his way over. Have you got a question for us, Richie? No, nothing? Well, look, I reiterate, I'm always available on the Discord. If you need to ask me any questions about anything, really, you can always jump onto the Discord.
I have a wee question. Are you able to hear me?
Yes. Hi, how are you?
Okay, excellent. Will people be able to eventually, or now, or in the future, create their own worlds and have it uploaded? Is that available here?
Yes, in short, yeah,
Yay!
that's totally
Very
available.
good.
In fact,
Excellent.
this is an event we hold once a week where we come together and sort of talk about just that topic. But this website, bantervr.com, a great place to start is that make a space link up in the top right.
Lovely.
If you can see that, and also the Discord, right? The Discord is a great place to come to.
Yeah.
Jump in there and chat to us. If you have any questions, we can definitely help you get started. Also, I recognize your accent. Whereabouts in Northern Ireland are you?
County Tyrone. We spoke before. The first time I came into Banter a few months ago. You were the first person I spoke to.
Right.
Yeah, so
I think
you're
I
my
remember.
Irish, you're countryman. Yeah.
I was wondering how I recognized.
Yeah.
Always makes me talk more of an Irish accent whenever I hear people who
Me
speak
too.
an
I
Irish
do the
accent.
same.
Yeah, yeah.
It gets stronger.
Yeah, exactly. Any other questions?
If it's possible. Thanks for the information about the link. That's going to be helpful. I just installed Unity today, so I'm going to check it out. The other question is Banter on side loading. Does it update automatically, or do you have to see if there is a new version of it now and then?
So you have to see if there's a new version if you've used the sideload version. You can also get the version on App Lab if you're on Quest, and it will update automatically. Or the Steam version on PC will also update automatically. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem at all. Nice. Okay. Any other questions? Anybody? Maybe somebody in another instance? No.
Nope,
here we
we're
go.
good on this side.
Everybody's good. Okay.
Yep.
Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, I guess whoever's got a space that they'd like to demonstrate, the first one to throw a portal onto this yellow box, that's where we're going to go. So there you go. Nice. So Magenta Mansion. If you can't get in there, just join on one of your friends. I love to see how everybody's fighting to get into the hole and then exploding when they do. I'm just going to move people down into this instance. And let's see, just to make sure that you've also got the portal. Okay. let's see. I'm just going to jump into that world myself real quick, and then I'll come back and drop another portal for you guys, okay?
I wish I was not scared to talk in front of groups.
Yes, such we are many. Say nothing for the beldam must be listening. We were here before you rose. We will be here when you fall. She left us here. She stole our hearts and she stole our souls. And she took our lives away. Flee, flee, while there's still air in your lungs, and blood in your veins, and warmth in your heart.
Someone is
Find
moving.
our secret hearts. Free our souls. You must flee.
Really? I don't see anything.
Aw. Cute.
Attics are always creepy.
Whose map is this? Oh, sounds like
Oh my
Moto.
god. Hello.
Hey. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, you can climb like that. How do you do that? Oh, nearly. Okay, right.
Crouch.
Okay,
Press
never mind.
crouch. When you're hanging out with your hands, then press
Yeah.
C button. Or you're from Quest. You have to pull down the right thumbstick, probably. After you hanging
Let's see.
here.
The triggers. I think the triggers
Oh,
are doing something.
no. In your case, you can climb using grip buttons, and at the very top, you must press crouch button.
Then what I've done
Or
now, I
just
don't know
use,
how I've
or
ended
just
up
use
here.
a teleport like that.
Right. I'm a bit fiddly with it.
Hello.
You can try to use teleport. I'm not sure, but I think it's Y button or so.
Oh shit.
Y or X.
No, you just simply put your hand on it. That's it.
Hello, Lisa.
Yeah, and right now you have to crouch.
Hello.
Press the crouch button. Right thumbstick
Oh,
down.
this is going to be creepy,
Yeah,
isn't it?
something like that.
Oh, it's a dungeon as well.
Stuck.
Just
man.
good. Oh, okay. I can see what's going on here later on.
Yes, more we are many. We are many. We were here before you rose.
Have a good one, everyone.
We will be here when you fall. Scary.
How much better now? Oh, Christmas hat.
For everyone that's interested, there's a secret door that leads you to another place if you want to find it.
Let me open the door for you.
Thank you. You sounded like you were from the Beatles.
Oh, boom.
Where is the secret door?
Secret door is on the middle floor.
Secret door is on the middle floor. Of course it is.
So, middle floor. And which door is it?
Secret
To
door
the left, to the
on the
right?
middle
Oh,
floor.
whoa.
It is the little door on the wall.
The little door on the wall?
Yes.
Little door on the wall. Little door on the wall.
Oh, this is Helen's tweet space.
Oh.
Isn't it so cute? And look at, there's a little Amen doll over here. Look over here.
Oh, there it is.
On the windowsill.
Nice. Found it.
Oh.
Oh, come on. Let's open it. Oh. Open it. Here, there it is.
It doesn't seem to be
Oh.
Oh, there we go.
What is this?
Don't mind us, we're just pooping.
bathroom again.
Pooping.
Little door is that way.
Can you grab it?
Yes,
Okay,
you need to
grab it.
grab it.
Business. Where were
Pull it.
Yeah,
Like that.
yeah. Go there.
That's it.
Ooh, the little door.
This is good.
Oh.
This is good.
Oh.
Hmm.
It's grabbable.
How do we get it with
Grab the
2D
door.
mode?
Grab it and pull. You can open it.
Whoa. Oh, what?
Hello. Just grab it. Pull
What
it
about,
out.
what about this underground tunnel here by the side of the house? Does not go anywhere.
Is everyone still here? Yeah, there's a couple down there.
I think you can pull it just
Can't get it
one
into the
person
mode,
at
it
a
just
time.
doesn't work. Once it's synced, you'll be able to open doors for other people, which will be really cool.
Yeah. I would have.
I managed to get it earlier.
That's probably because
Until
there's
you
too
need
many
to
Still
people.
trying to get in.
Grab it. No, you're not grabbing it. You're just pushing it. You cannot push. You need to grab it.
Push me. And then
Yeah,
just
pull.
back me.
Pull out.
And grab it and
Oh.
pull.
And then I get my satisfaction.
There we go.
There we go.
Satisfaction. What? It's open. It's open. At least for me.
Oh, so
Yeah, I
also
can go
open.
in there now. I can go in there now.
Yeah.
Let me do that.
Yes.
Right.
Did I open it?
Yes,
Yeah.
thank you, Moto.
Yeah.
Ah, here we go. We got it.
Oh, anyone else?
Excuse me.
Anyone
Oh.
else that wants to go in?
Oh.
In you go. Go. Go, go,
Okay,
go,
let's
go.
go. Let's go.
That's so cool.
That is.
Hush, and hush, say nothing, for the bell might be listening. Might be listening. Nothing.